I love being flashy. I'm Cuban. We like white Ferraris. Who likes white Ferraris? I always dress like I'm coming out of the kitchen. When you're wearing whites, there's very few things that will separate you from everybody else. A watch is very simple. You know, like in cooking, French, they wear toques, and depending on the height of the toque is your position in the kitchen. So the chef always has the highest toque, so that when you walk into a kitchen, you know who the boss is. Well, these days, the guy with the AP, that's the boss. My name is Carl Ruiz. I'm a chef in New York City. We are in my new restaurant that's being built. I grew up in New Jersey, came to New York my whole life. Loved New York, I loved the restaurants in New York. I remember when I opened my first restaurant in New York, I was in my 20s. I opened restaurants in Canada, I opened one in Switzerland, opened one in Miami, opened, all over the country, California. So then I got my chops. I knew how to open restaurants. People knew I was a pit bull. I even opened a restaurant in Times Square, which is unbelievable. The scale of things, 3 kitchens, 200 employees. It's unbelievably painful to do that. Got me into food was, the punishment in my house when I was a kid was, you have to go cook with your mother. So since I was in trouble every day, I ended up cooking almost every night. I lived with my mother and my grandmother, and cooking for a whole, a giant Latin family was incredible. So I was like in service. At 10 years old, I was making empanadas and frying bananas and making tamales. So I was doing some serious work. I knew I started working at a restaurant. I was in high school, and when I was making more money than my guidance counselor, I said, you know what? I'm gonna stick with this. I got better at it, and I made a career of it. About 12 years ago, I met Food Network star Guy Fieri. He says, you're pretty much insane. You should be on TV. He says, you won't last long because they'll think you're crazy, and here I am 10 years later. So it's fun. Food TV is great. I love being on TV and cooking because you can't taste it. So no matter what I make, if I say it's good, you're gonna have to agree with me. But a kitchen, it's been my whole life. I started with watches a long time ago, but for me, it was a recommendation from someone. Someone that I knew said to me, Carl, listen, you should have a nice watch because you never know when you're gonna need money. You never know when you're gonna get kicked out of your apartment or anything, and on your wrist, you should always have enough money to buy a mattress, a TV, and a security deposit for an apartment. As a chef, it's like being immortal. We outlive every restaurant. So we're starting new. Every 5 years, you get fired, or the restaurant blows up, or they put scaffolding and it goes out of business. Or, there's always a problem. We're always starting over. So me falling in love with watches, it was completely on a pragmatic level. That's how it started. You go back on the line. That's living right there. So this is my favorite watch. It's a Seiko Turtle. It's the reissue. And I love Seiko because it's a vertically integrated company. They make everything. It's got a strap code Jubilee bracelet on it. I mean, from 30 feet, it looks like an old Rolex, which is great. And most people think that is, and I don't change their mind either. It's like, nice vintage Rolex. I'm like, you got it. But it's got a day, it's got a date. The bezel works, it works every day. It chugs like a tractor. I mean, it doesn't keep perfect time, but neither do I. So it's late, I'm late, we're both late. We kind of get each other. I absolutely love it. This is beautiful. This is the ceramic Daytona. I love it, but I have no idea what time it is ever on it. Chrono's hard to use. You have to unscrew it. It's just archaic, their whole design. But, all watches that I've owned and own are used. I like buying watches with a little nick or a little love, or we call a little English on them. It makes it hurt less. Like, oh, I know it's 10 grand, but it's used. It's really 30 grand. That's really not. You're really still being crazy, but it softens the hit. It softens the pain when you get home. You're like, wow, I can't drink a Snapple today because I bought a Rolex. And then people love this one. This is super show off right here. This makes people angry when you have, oh, you got it with the white face. Oh, come on. This is an AP Scuba Royal Oak. Limited edition, it's got the blue ring in it. It's unbelievable. Compressor case, I love it. This is a big dog. This is the Lamborghini Countach of watches, right? You wear this in places where people only care about what they look like on the outside. Bracelets cost more than some watches, especially in stainless steel. If you want to get something like this in gold, then you're on a whole nother level. You probably kidnap people, or I don't even know what you do. when you first get into watches, you know, this is probably your grail. You don't know about this yet. And then this happens, and then it's all over. Your whole life is gonna be chasing these things and looking at people's wrists like a real weirdo at parties. You know, people talk, they're moving their wine glass around. I'm looking, trying to figure out what model number it is, but they're beautiful. And that's it. And I mean, this is just, you know, a small picture of the stuff that I like, and it'll all probably be for sale soon because I make a lot of mistakes in the restaurant business. I've had so much fun keeping watches lighthearted and not taking them too serious and not taking myself too serious. A lot of people make believe they're not showing off when they buy a watch. So they buy an obscure watch. You're actually showing off to the other obscure people. It's still showing off. There's no practical reason for you to have a $20,000 watch or even a $500 watch. There's no practical reason. Your phone doesn't. And if you don't have a phone, you're probably not watching this. But it's okay. It's okay to be flashy. I think people that take the watches and their size and the movement so serious, they're missing out that these things are a thing of beauty and they're trophies. That's why you wear them on the outside. If they weren't meant to be shown off, we'd still be wearing pocket watches, which don't get me started. I hate those things. Yeah, so depending on who I'm gonna meet and who I'm gonna talk to is depending on the watch that I wear. So this is the only way that we quietly communicate with the rest of society, like, hey, I've achieved something. Hey, you know, I'm doing okay, guys. You know, or hey, listen, I know about something, you know, and it's okay.